apologize for the long wait. It just started 6:30. Just got really busy, but thank you for joining us. And of course, with me as always is Mr. Lou Rod. How's it going, Lou?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, man. I know a couple people were waiting for us to start. So when are we going to start? Chazi, apologize. But let's kick the show on the road. We have a full slate. Let's start off, of course, with the title of this episode. Joker is close to $1 billion. Can you imagine that, Lou? Did you imagine he was going to hit $1 billion?
No.
Nah. Did you think it was going to get... Wait, remember we talked about this, right? The last show. We said... What did you say number-wise? I think I said like 5, maybe 6.
I might have went to 7, close to 8 on the lucky side of things. But this weekend, it might hit a little snag because,
Terminator.
That Terminator, I watched it. It's on point.
It is? Okay, good. Because I'm going to see it this weekend myself. Definitely going to see it. But you saw Joker. You finally went to go see it in theaters. How did you like it?
I didn't get to go. But I did watch it. And I still hold my opinion that, my 2 favorite scenes.
Spoiler, people.
Man, if they haven't seen it, it's been out damn near a month.
Crispy 333 just reminded it's spoiler. So Crispy, just hold up for like a minute.
I won't say nothing else. The movie's great. Go see it. If you haven't, you will enjoy it. I really hope that they find a way to incorporate Joaquin Phoenix with Robert Pattinson.
See,
it doesn't have to be the first film. You could lay that Easter egg like they kind of did with Batman Begins, and a little Joker card. You could sprinkle something, and then help him be the villain going forward.
I say no.
We gotta have a Batman in this Joker universe.
I have thought about it well enough. I say if they have a very good script for a sequel, go ahead and do a sequel. I say no integration with Batman. I say this is DC now making villains standalone story. You take this, you do a Lex, you do somebody else, and you make a low budget standalone story. Look, even if your next movie only does 500 million, right? It's still a huge shit because your budget is still at that 55, right? That's what you should just do on that side.
It goes to show you, folks, that Deadpool won at 63 million to make.
Like yeah.
And it damn near made over 800 million.
No, 726.
Oh, well. Okay.
Remember, because Joker is at 849, which is now the highest rated R movie.
And then look at the Joker, $70 million budget.
That budget number keeps changing though, because started after say it was 55 at one point, said it was 77.
I believe it's 70 million. Everything I've heard is at 70 million, not counting marketing.
Marketing's let's call it another 100.
But they said this movie has profited as much money as Infinity War.
Yeah.
So, this movie is fun.
Yeah, so that's why I say if you're DC, this is this kind of stuff that if you want to make your blockbusters, your big movies, your Batmans, just all that stuff, right? Use this thing, think about it this way, right? And this could be a really cool way of doing things in DC. They could do all their villain stories, right? And they either use the same characters in the Justice League or not even cast them. But even if you do a Justice League down the line with different people, right? People already know who Joker is, Lex, and all these people, right? You do movies on. So you don't have to really introduce them anymore at all, right? You don't have to do that inclusion in there. And I think that's something they can do. But I just think they should just look at it as standalones.
Hey, it can work. It can work. It's proven. It has to be. It's going to be character based driven. If the character is in a high demand, then it's going to work great. If the character isn't, then they're going to have to reevaluate.
Reevaluate what?
Which ones to use. That's where Star Wars messed up. Not everybody wanted Han Solo. Marketing suffered. You put it out 2 weeks after Infinity War, which was a big ass mistake. You should have just left it in December, where it would have been probably a much bigger hit.
I mean, it would have been a bigger hit, but here's the problem. That movie had more problems than everybody wanted Han Solo. What you should have done was told that story from Han Solo's point of view. If you started with Harrison Ford telling the story, a time in his life, right? Just telling a story, even if it's to Rey, like think about it, right? The time he picked up Rey and he flew off, and that's just the story he told. Then, because the thing is that he didn't have anybody cared about. There was no Harrison Ford. Han Solo is Harrison Ford. So the fact that you don't even see him in this movie just shows that they didn't want to, instead of them just connecting it. Now, that's beside the point. I think with future DC franchises, if you're going to do villain standalones, right? You've got Joker. I say you do Lex. You can do characters like Penguin, Riddler, whichever of those characters you want to make, right? There's enough. Bane actually is a good one. Because Bane started from Bane lately in the comics, not even the comics, like animated stuff, they're always making just a strong buff guy. Bane is very smart. Very, very smart. I mean, was. So if you take, I mean, they're characters like that you can actually pick and choose and make a good villain. And again, you don't have to do, it's not like you do a lot, right? Say, look, I mentioned 5 characters. That's at least 6 or 7 years of making movies. It's not like you're making them, 2 a year, because they have the other DC stuff to do, right? So if you do Joker this year, and then 2021 is Lex, right? Imagine Lex dropping after the election. I'm not saying you have to throw in the election stuff, but just enough in there that gives people similarities where they go like, oh, we just lived through this shit. I mean, this
Supergirl does plenty of that for us.
Nah, they don't do it well. I mean, trust me, when it's done.
I didn't say they did it well.
When it's done well, it's something to look at. But it's cool to see Joker's at 851 million today. It should most likely hit 900 by the weekend, with international numbers coming in, and who knows? It's at 18. It did 18.9 million right this last weekend. I have a feeling it's going to have an uptick of closer to 20 mil. Just a way, even though it should drop, it should be like at 15 or 14 million this weekend. I have a feeling you get up to 20.
It's all going to be on how Terminator does.
Yeah.
And for the folks out there, Terminator is a direct sequel to the second one.
To T2.
To T2, direct sequel, and just enjoy the movie.
So here's the thing I thought about with Terminator, the franchise, right? And why some people might feel confused, but I don't. I think all the Terminators are part of the franchise, every single movie. Because it's time travel, each time you travel back, everything is a different timeline, number one, in my mind.
Well,
no, you don't have to spoil the movie. Don't say anything.
No, I'm not spoiling no more. This is nothing to do with the movie. This was a discussion I had earlier today. My friend was like, Terminator is like its own multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what they have done. Okay, you can go with that, but this particular movie
is in the same timeline. Yeah, no, which is fine with me. The fact that the other ones are branches, because you remember the last one with Genesis, right? Where
Jenny 6?
Yeah, where Arnold's character was growing old, right? And then they're sent in the younger one before they now sent in the other Terminator, right? So again, to me, it's fine. And when I look at it from that perspective, and I have to look at this one, I also go like, I look at it almost like that's failed attempts by the machine, in a sense too.
When you go see this, you're going to see something that you're going to be like, and when you see that one scene and then a future scene later in the movie, you're going to be like, what the hell? All right, then.
Okay, cool. That's good to hear. Good to hear about them. Some questions, some comments here. Charles, the Terminator is not going to be good. Charzy, sorry. it's gonna do good because of Halloween, and Terminator has had bad reviews and bad opening weekend predictions.
I haven't heard no bad reviews for this Terminator movie.
I mean, like the only people I've seen drop reviews are Grace, but her thumbnail kind of gave her like and she's a big Terminator fan. So I was like, maybe she didn't like it. I didn't watch it yet. Chazzy says things 22 million after counts of this weekend. That's a huge uptake from 18. So we'll see. All right, let's go to some news that we have here. So we've got the first one that there is a Superman TV show in development at CW based off the Tyler Hitchkin. Is it Hitchkins, right? Is his last name?
Yeah, the one that's in the Crisis universe.
Yeah, the one that's in the Supergirl universe. There's a TV show around that, which we've heard before. This is basically going to be after Crisis in a sense. I put it on Twitter. I said, hell no. I think I'm officially done with every CW show. I'm going to watch the crossover event because it's going to be fun. There's going to be Easter eggs all over the place, but it's not going to be good. And that's my problem with it. I haven't watched Batwoman yet, but I have watched a couple of reviews. There's this girl that does like this review parody.
We can't see
where
just watch it for the show. The show is fine. I haven't watched last night's, but I've enjoyed what they have done, and I get it. Not everybody is a fan of Ruby Road.
No. Everything I've seen indicates a terrible show for me. And I'll tell you why. Number one, Batman didn't save her family because of a faulty grappling hook or a fender, whatever. Like there's a faulty thing with the bumper of the car. I'm like, can you know writing? I don't care. Like Ruby Rhodes, her acting looks stiff. It's like a worse version of Keanu Reeves, but that's even besides the point. Like I'll tell you about, because I haven't watched it fully, so I'll say I haven't seen her, but what I've seen I didn't like, but I can live without. You write that there. You write that Batman is terrible, right? What's his name again? His son, the black guy.
Luke Fox.
Luke Fox. Again, the reason why I hated Mr. Miracle. Oh no, sorry, Mr. Terrific in Arrow is because male black characters on TV shows who are actually good in the comics are reading like trash. Mr. Terrific is like a solid athlete, like somebody who was built to do triathlons and Ironman competitions and like was the best at everything. And the only person who's in better shape than him is Batman in the comics, like just hands down. So you saw what they did with that, right? In Arrow, right? Then we now have Luke Fox, who basically he's a version of Batman in the comics, right? Very smart, very talented. And what did they do? They made him the most wimpiest crap ever. Just because, see, that's the thing I hate. Remember, we've talked about this before. It's like you don't have to make a male character look stupid to make a good female character, because Batwoman in the comic books is such a badass that I don't even see it here. Her character basically took the name Batwoman because she just needed a name while she was going there to go kick ass. It wasn't about Bruce Wayne anything, or like Bruce basically was like, okay, like you're doing a very good job. I mean, I know you have my name, but you just can't be killing people. Like you gotta ease up, kind of thing. And that was it. As opposed to this concocted storyline that we're getting here. Like to me, I wish they had done it that she was already there doing her own thing. And then, Batman, like Batman's missing for whatever reason, right? You can make up so many other reasons he's missing. Not the fact that he failed to save the sister. And then the villain is kind of like their own fake Joker, like a terrible version of even what they did in Gotham. I mean, this is me just watching clips of it, not watching the show. That's just writing. That's all writing. That has nothing to do with acting or anything. That's literally writing in the show is terrible.
Yeah, but we've already established that the CW writers I don't know what they're thinking. For me personally, Titans and Doom Patrol have ruined the CW.
Of course. No, I mean, look, Titans, right? I haven't watched this season yet. I saw that clip. I saw just the beginning of the clip where Superboy was with Park Kent and the soldiers came in, and I was like,
That's not Park Kent.
Oh no, whoever that old man was, right?
That's Lex Luthor's father.
Okay, but that scene, right? I just hit stop, and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready to see it. I'm gonna watch the season. Like I'm gonna watch.
You should have been watching the season since I've been telling you.
No, I want to binge the whole season. I want to like go.
That's why I kind of noticed why you haven't started. Like episode 7, Robin starts a story that goes into 8.
Yeah.
And it plays, and it's playing beautifully. Dude, I seen some stuff there like Deathstroke is a badass.
Of course he's a badass. So
you're going to see in episode 8 the badassness that he is.
Look, Deathstroke in the comic books took out the whole Titans. I'm talking about people who are stronger than him. I mean, the only, like, literally, Deathstroke and Batman are like this. The only person he will never go up against is Superman, because Superman already knows from Batman, you just don't mess with Deathstroke. So he literally obliterated, but he took out the whole Titans. I'm talking about, you know, Wonder Girl, Aqualad, Starfire, you know, Nightwing, aka Fresh Robin, all of them. So I'm excited to see. I'm more excited to see how that goes into HBO Max, especially with HBO now manning some of that as well. Now,
for Titans, the first episode of season 2. Remember, it is it's the season finale technically of season 1.
And then
but they bridged it to season 2.
It's kind of like Shooter. I know.
So
yeah,
remember that, and then season 2 after that episode really flows great.
Oh, so Maleficent is number 1 after the countdown.
No, it ain't. Not according to Box Office Mojo. The weekend totals are still Joker at 18.9 million and Maleficent at 18.5 million.
Okay, we'll see. Now, here's the thing. Have you started watching Watchmen yet? No.
Yes, I hadn't watched last night's episode.
So what? Okay, what is that? Don't spoil it for me, because I haven't watched Watchmen yet. I want to get Watchmen. I want 3 episodes because I want to go back to back with those. But what's the hate people are giving Watchmen? Because I'm seeing some weird hate and saying that, you know, it's getting review bombed and all that kind of stuff. But
I don't know what they're not. See, to me, critics and reviewers.
No. So critics have given it great reviews. I mean, according to
then if it's reviewers, then I can't speak for a reviewer. I don't know what you want from a show, because this show technically is 36 years after the comic. It's not based off the movie. It's based off the graphic novel. So if the graphic novel came out 36 years ago, this is a direct sequel to that. And what I've watched so far, I enjoyed. Episode 1 was great.
So it is 98% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes by reviewers. Critics have given it 43%.
And to me, again, critics are the biggest poppy jock moron.
No critics. Sorry, audiences have given 43%.
Well, audience members, again, what are you looking for in a TV show? So far, the story's great.
So I see one here. This is from someone called Shadow Spark A. Just finished 2nd episode, and I have to say, Watchmen is disappointing. Slow moving and meandering. Not sure if I'm interested enough to stick around and find out what's going on. Another case of great cast, source material, but wasted potential. Okay, if you don't know, Watchmen is a slow developing story. No, that's number 1. Number 2. It is going to play exactly the same way as
American Gods did the first season.
Not even American Gods. American Gods are even our favorite show. Westworld. You know how Westworld also was.
Westworld is slow all seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Watchmen is a comic book show that makes you think and look at. Because a couple of things were there. They talked about the I believe they talked about the Black Wall Street Massacre. They in one of the episodes.
The first episode started off with the massacre in Tulsa, 1921.
Yeah, so that That was
I believe
considered
was the
black.
year.
That was considered Black Wall Street.
And see, I brought this up last week at work with a couple of guys. It's like I didn't know this was an event that happened at all because it's not taught in history classes at
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
But yet, I posed that question. It's like, why is it that this event that's centered in this show for about the first 5 minutes was never touched on in history? I didn't even know this took place. It was never brought up in anything. But this show did such a good job with it. And I was like, why is it that these books, they only translate what they want you to know?
Well, I mean, spoils of history go to the victor. So that's what it is, right? You know, I mean, if I think about it this way, it's a bad thing, but it's also very basic. If we play a game of chess or cards, and I beat you 4 times, right? And then 10 years from now, we are even telling the story. My story win out over you because I won.
But shouldn't be a story about who won. This is a massacre of epic proportion that should have never took place.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, to the spoils go the victor in terms of history is that was the aim, right? You know, the white supremacists and all that. That was the aim, to basically burn it down, and not just like physically, like the people there, the place, the whole idea, but also like historically, right? You don't get those information gets watered down until, you know, I mean, like think about like in Hollywood, where we always get these movies about some black person does this, right? Or like even like Hidden Figures, right? With, you know, just 3 black women who were all the mathematicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even taught in schools. I mean, it's like it was in schools either. Nobody knew about that until you watch the movie and you're like, oh, let me go find out, see if it's correct. Oh yeah, it was. She's still alive. Damn.
And the sad thing is that they helped the NASA program.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the movie, but I kind of grasped.
Yeah. It was not just help there was no computers at that time. She did the math for re-entry into space and back. She had to calculate it in time. Like this is math that you just don't do like that. She was the one who did it. Yeah. You know, but at that time, so there are a lot of things like that we just don't see. And, you know, it's cool that, you know, the show is bringing that up. So I have to check out Watchmen and see how that is. I think Sam brought up a rumor of Nightwing for the DC. What's his name again? The guy from Stranger Things?
Nah.
I mean, nah.
I don't want no one from Stranger Things in a Batman movie.
As Nightwing.
It's just look. I know they got the things all separated and stuff, but right now, Titans Robin is my Nightwing.
Well, I mean, yeah,
and he was a pirate of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I didn't like but again, it's the same thing. I didn't like the casting choice. But remember, if I am DC, I would take the one good thing that CW is doing now with Crisis of Infinity Earth. Accept all your shows, even the sucky ones. Accept all of them. They're part of your bigger universe, right? Joker is part of the universe. And that's why Joker needs to stay standalone, because that's just a different world, a different universe. Doesn't matter, right? Because if they accept their universes and do it right, their TV shows on HBO Max should be the center places where you start entering into these universes. Take a cue from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. And that was like, even though this episode was it was, you know, like a lot of the filler episodes, right? It's a filler episodes, but that was a filler episode. Like nowadays, people should look at that if you want to do connected universes. Deep Space Nine, the captain and his commander, you know, of course, they got locked into this time thing and they went back to the original Star Trek with Captain Kirk. where they were infested with trebles, those little furry creatures, right? And each time that they saw Kirk, they would hide in the corner, and then they would shoot the scene. They show the scene from the original movie in high def, right? It was, and they made everything look like that. And I'm like, you can have a show where somebody goes into another world, like comes into DCU's Man of Steel world, and he's hiding from certain characters because you use scenes and even unused scenes from those movies. You don't have to show them at all. That's what they did. And I'm like, this is what the people need to do now for their new shows, because then you can go into older shows and different storylines. And then the audience goes like, oh, okay, so that's connected here. This is connected here. Oh, I see. That makes sense. Cool. Done. And then you have a connected universe and everybody understands, okay, all right, that world is there. I mean, like Flash did it well, first time when they introduced all the universes, when he explained to Kara, it's like, look, there are 52. This is yours. This is mine. And there are many others you can go to. So just call it what it is. Done. So that's what I think they need to just accept and say, okay, everything is in its own place. Like Titans universe is not DCEU because the Batman there is very different. Here's another movie they should do. So the rumors have been told, and this should be one of the next ones. Batman Beyond.
But who do you get as? Do you go with Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. You go with Michael Keaton because Ben Affleck's Batman doesn't, even though if you age him, he will look right, he doesn't fit that. Because remember, he was just too gruff. He was like, This other one is older, but he still would, have a protege on the side. But if you have Michael Keaton back as Batman, that would, first of all, just be crazy enough. If you would be like,
it's going to do well.
Yeah. And you get a young guy. And again, but the cool thing about that is that you can have a Batman Beyond storyline continue.
That could play out for a while.
On its own, like that. Done.
But it probably won't get made.
I think you will. I think after this box office now, they're probably looking and going like, oh, we don't really have to do connected universes, right? I mean, that's the thing they really were afraid of.
Well, it's not connected, but then
soft connection.
They can take someone like Ezra Miller and create their own Crisis and merge and do all that other crap in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Soft connection. But the thing about it is this, that say for instance, like Lex teleported to another world to bring this Joker in. This Joker might not even go because he doesn't fit his style. It's like, it's not my thing.
How far are you from the famous stairs now?
Oh, it's in Queens. I mean, I'm in Brooklyn, so
you gonna go there and make your Instagram post and do all the little funky likes?
What I look like? No, I'm not that. People just curse me out.
Now, here's something I heard today, and after thinking about it, because it's been a while since I watched Superman 2. He killed.
Yeah, he did.
So why does everyone still give Man of Steel problems for him killing?
Because he pushed him and he fell into a hole. Look, that is film trickery. You didn't get it till now.
Regardless of that, he lost superpowers to have sex.
Oh, you're listening to Collider, right?
He gets superpowers back and go beats the living hell out of the trucker who kicked his ass earlier in the movie. Like, that's just abuse of power. Like, everybody complains about these characters killing. Yo, they've killed in the comics.
Here's the thing. Man of Steel was ahead of its time. If Man of Steel came out now and he killed Zod, not so much. There will be people who complain, don't get me wrong. But it would not be as big as that. Man of Steel, maybe, yes, I agree. The fight scene with Zod should have cut down like 10 minutes just to balance it out a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But him killing Zod, no, right? Not at all. The thing about it is that the only thing I would change or add into the movie is to add him showing just a little bit more regret afterwards. Whether with his mom or somebody is like, especially, I think if it ended with his mom, he and his mom, He's talking about the fact that he had to end the life. And his mom, or even like him talking to himself, talking about Park Kent, and then Park Kent, like kind of like he saw his ghost in the second one, right? Where Park Kent is like, these were the choices I didn't want you to do, to go through if you come out. That's the one that appeases everybody. You can't say anything about it because it's like, wait, did you not want him to kill him, or did you want him to lock him in what prison again? Because I always have this argument with Juan. I go, Juan is like, there's a better way. I was like, look, they took out the Phantom Zone because it had to go. So where was he going to put him? Tell me.
He escaped the Phantom Zone, if you think about it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say, but where is he gonna put him? Where? Give me one place. Yeah, exactly. He would have to.
Well, you put him in a kryptonite cage for the rest of his life.
The thing is that you can't. Somebody, what I was saying is you could have blinded him. I was like, no, you can't blind him because he will heal back from that. Even if you try to blind him or gouge out his eyes or something, he still will heal. So even if you broke all his bones, they will still heal. The thing is, he can't break his bones because the bones are just as hard as his. So, for me, I'm like, that's why, the thing about audiences is that, and I think that was one of Snyder's mistakes, is that I think he should have had a scene with his father just at the end. Even if you keep everything the same, at the end when the father was like, these are the things that I didn't want you to face. These are the tough decisions you have to make.
Not even that. Instead of doing Batman vs Superman, they should have just gave him his own sequel.
Oh no,
that led into a Batman vs Superman.
No, I definitely agree. But I'm just saying Man of Steel alone, because even before Batman Superman came out, everybody was like, "Oh, Superman is killing," and there's all this back and forth.
This is a guy who's becoming Superman, who doesn't understand what the S truly stands for.
It's not even. To me, it doesn't even matter about that. It's a man that understood what the S stood for and looked at it that if I do not stop this guy, nothing else. The thing about it is that everybody is trying to hold true to some very altruistic version of, which is why I liked Ben Affleck's Batman, because he's like, I'm not going to kill you, but if you die, that's not my problem because you're supposed to die. That was it. It's like, if you're in the way, you're in the way. But I'm not going to save you. What did Christian Bale's Batman do to Ra's al Ghul?
Let him die.
Mm-hmm. Essentially killing him.
But not even that. Even in the Dark Knight trilogy, you may not see their deaths, but a lot of those bomb explosions that he let off is killing someone with his car.
Mm-hmm.
When he did the whole rammed his car against the dump truck, and the dump truck hit the trash can truck hit the ceiling underneath the tunnel. I'm sorry, people in that cab were dead.
Look, the thing is, I think this is the time where the harsh reality of the DCU makes sense. That was the time of Marvel, right? The whole Marvel, very, very nice, cute, and faint. And movies like this make a whole lot more sense. Which is why
it makes sense because they're building that world. Marvel has 23 movies behind its belt that painted this pretty picture where the good guy, for the most part, always wins.
Yeah.
So this is why I like Titans. They kick ass, take names later, and you see in season 1 when the guy goes to Robin, oh, where's Batman? And then he takes his face, rubs it against the glass, fuck Batman. That was brilliant. You gotta love stuff like that. That's why CW's now become I'm only really watching just to get to the Crisis.
I mean, I haven't seen Arrow this season. Is it any better?
No. I'm sorry. The earlier seasons of Oliver fighting look so much more. They look better. Him fighting now, I don't know if it's age or if he doesn't care anymore.
It's not him. It's not him because we know he can. Have you seen the trailer for his little video movie with his brother?
Yeah, Code 83 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'd rather watch that than watch Eddie of Arrow at this point. I saw it. I was like, okay, it's cool. Like, I'll check it out. I definitely check it out.
I like Bat Guy's comment.
People who think Batman or Superman don't kill probably still believe in Santa. LOL. That is true. I mean, like, the thing about it with Superman not killing is for you not to kill, there's only two reasons, right? Number one, you have to explain, and which you cannot do. I don't think you can do properly in the movie. You actually explain the amount of restraint Superman has to do to use in not just casually killing you. Remember this. Just remember, this is somebody who can move a planet. Even the basest Superman can move a planet, right? Depends on which Superman you look at. So if you're that strong, when you pick up, like, even if you picked up like this controller and he just held it lightly, he would most likely break it.
That's my argument. Now, I had this discussion the other day with my boy upstairs. We were watching Supergirl. Supergirl should not struggle in any effing fight.
Is this the one with the Spider Woman?
I haven't watched that one yet.
I saw the fight scene and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
It's not even that. Martian Manhunter shouldn't struggle with fights. And I don't even know his character that well. But
he's on the same strength level as Superman, pretty much.
I mean, for effing sake.
Unless you have fire around him, then he just kind of...
Why is Alex able to get up when supposedly a meta or even someone who is strong on this show, like, no, you should be dead. Massive broken bones. Like,
Okay.
Kara's on the strength with Superman, where all she got to do is do a little flick and people are going to go flying. This show is horrendous with these power levels.
See why I don't.
And it ain't getting better.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. See, that's the thing, is that when you have heroes or characters like that with Superman, somebody like Superman or Superman's level, it is, which is why I was very concerned about Thor, and I've been very disappointed with Thor until Ragnarok, where his power went up a little bit, and then in Infinity War, where he went to Thor level, and then Endgame, they now took it down into the trash again.
Well, he took it down to Fat Man Thor.
That's a character that just can't get fat. That's the thing.
He can't.
No, he can't. So the amount of,
I believe there was a fat version of Thor in the comic.
it was like an alternate universe type Thor.
Okay, well they incorporated it against the two.
But no, but amount of food eating and drinking, right? That's Thor's thing. Forget because he was depressed. Anytime he fought like Thor likes war, right? He will go fight the ice giants and the trolls. After defeating them, he comes back and he's just eating, drinking without his fat buddy, right, from the first movie.
Yeah.
He drinks more than that guy, eats more than that guy. That's how he is. He's not supposed
like
to.
Goku and Vegeta.
Exactly.
Up their face.
He's supposed to be that because for Asgard, he is the main warrior. Not that the other warriors, but he's like, number one guy. He's Goku. Maybe not as strong as Goku, but he's Goku, right? His epitome is Goku. So when I saw Fat Thor, I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, and he talked about it, and he did a good job. But don't get me wrong, like me not liking it and him, he made it enjoyable. But the reason is because, let's be honest, when you bring in Captain Marvel and you bring in Thor from Infinity War against Thanos has no chance. Zero. It's like have you seen that trailer somebody did where Cap is like, gets up from the floor and then you hear on your right, Cap, or on your left or whatever, and then the thing opens up and Superman works out and he just ends it. You see the comment, everyone's like, over. I gotta find it. It's really cool. It's well done. It's really well done. It's one of those because it's him coming out of the
out of the billion rings that they opened.
No, just out of the Kryptonian ship, but they do the ring around it, so it looks like, and you just see his clip, and you're like, okay, fight's over, might as well. I mean, like that's the thing. the Justice League enough alone would take that on.
But here's the funny thing. If Zack Snyder would have been able to complete his vision, what does Superman do up against the likes of Darkseid? Because he's the only one who could handle Darkseid.
Oh, that would be a big fight. And he would lose the first round.
And then that is, to me, kind of like the epic scale of how Goku fights his villains on Earth and they start shaking the planet.
Like literally, he would lose that fight, and then he would realize that he has to stop limiting himself. Because the thing about Superman as a character, the reason why people don't get it is that, again, because if I am strong enough to lift my building, then even shaking your hand is a problem. Because I have to remember, I have to take your hand and treat it like a baby and go like this. I'd probably even be able to carry a baby. To carry anything, I have to be like this. Just put it in my hand so I don't squeeze. Like just drop it. So you have to understand the level of where the character is. Speaking of Avengers, Kevin Smith beats the Endgame same-day record with his new movie, Jane Silent Bob. Lobo, you hobos. Lobo was terrible. I'm sorry, man.
Lobo on what?
Lobo on Krypton was bad.
Oh, yes, I've told him this before.
To
I
me,
couldn't get behind that Lobo.
To me, if you were gonna do the only person who I'd take is Lobo, though. He's now Aquaman. Jason Momoa is Lobo, because it's the same demeanor. Like his Aquaman is more Lobo than Aquaman, because Aquaman is not like that, really. I mean, Aquaman can be a little dickish, but the way he does, like, my man and all that, that's literally Lobo. It's fun, and then he's also just straightforward. Superman needs a message to even stand toe to toe when he was drunk. No, I think that was animated. I mean, Lobo is as strong as Superman, and if they want to go to toe to toe, it'll be a rough fight. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Anyway, guys, I think that is it for this week. Sorry for starting late, and we'll be back next Monday. 6:30.
Yeah, you should have seen Terminator by then.
Yeah, I'll see Terminator by then. We'll have some records back, and that
will also be the 3rd episode of Watchmen.
Yeah. I'm going to start Watchmen this weekend because just got a lot of stuff to do. Gaming channel.
Before we continue, did you at least watch Dolomite?
No, not yet. I didn't know it came out until late last night because we were watching.
I sent you the link.
No, I just didn't even I didn't even think about it. You sent the link, but I didn't realize I was going through Netflix. And my girl doesn't really like comedy. She likes things that are funny, but not comedies. So then I saw
it just had a lot of funny elements.
So I saw Dolomite. And I was like, okay, I gotta watch this, later on. But yeah, Watchmen. Watchmen is a slow burn. Enjoy it. Anyway, guys,
he's not going to.
Thank you for watching, and always enjoy entertainment.
Yes, sir. You got the Dolomite.